Nope.
What is up, you guys? I'm James Reptiles, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how you can make money breeding crested geckos. Let's hop right into it. Now, to start things off, a couple disclaimers. This is not a get-rich scheme. There's no real get-rich scheme out there. If you want to go play the lottery, go play the lottery. That's not what we're doing here. And second, this is just my personal opinion. You know, you shouldn't take all that you get from this video, all the information you get from it, and run with it. You should watch multiple videos. You should do all sorts of research. You should do all your due diligence before you do what I'm about to talk about. But with all that being said, how can you make money breeding crested geckos? Of course, the obvious answer is selling babies, right? So how can we go about that? Now, obviously, you can buy 2 adults. You can put them together in a tank, and you can sell the babies. You can breed them, incubate the eggs, sell the babies, make money, right? But it's more complex than that. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. Now, there's a lot of things that come into play here. I want to start first talking about the adults you buy, or the first breeders you're going to buy, because, you know, it's the first step, so I want to talk about that first. Now, really, when I say, really, when you're breeding an animal of any kind, my personal recommendation is that you start with babies. And this is going to really extend the life of your investment, your plan, your breeding group, your project. But in the long term, I think it's personally better. One, a lot of times when people are selling adults, they're not good. They're usually either retired breeders, they're not breeding, they're ugly, and they couldn't sell them as babies, and they're more expensive because they're adults. Now, you can go out and buy, you know, groups of baby geckos. You can go on Pangea right now, and without a wholesale license, you can buy groups of crested geckos, and you can put in the little notes, you can say, hey, I want all Dalmatians, and you raise them all up. Now, granted, you have to feed all of them, you have to wait the time, and all that, and you go through issues with some of them, but you grow them all up. Maybe you get 50% males, 50% females. Maybe you have 10, you have 5 and 5. You just pair 5 and 5 together. Or you can sell a couple of the males and, you know, keep a male with like 5 females. You know, that would be awesome. You'd have really good Dalmatians. Pangea is known for having good animals. And you'd have the right pairing. Now, the only problem with that is if the male doesn't do well, you probably want to keep one on hand. Now, the second thing I want to talk about when buying your first breeders is that you want to buy quality animals. I can't stress this enough. I've purchased, you know, poor quality animals. I've picked the cheapest animals. I've you know, picked adults that people are getting rid of. It's not what you want to do at all. You want to go to the best of the best breeder. You want to get ready for when they're about to have babies, and you want to pick the best ones. You want to be the first person to pick. When I'm picking snakes to breed, generally, for the most part, I find a breeder, I let them know I'm interested in babies, and they may go, oh, well, I have this, you know, 3 left over from last season. I tell them, no, I'm comfortable waiting. If you have a list for next season's babies, I'd like to be at the top. I'll do what I gotta do. If it's more expensive, it's more expensive. Let's say you pay $50 more for a snake, that will pay off. You will get nicer, higher quality animals. When I bought my Tangerine Tornado leopard geckos, I knew the breeder, I told him what I wanted, I waited, he had the best of the best, and I paid a premium for him. I did. He held them for me. I paid extra money for him, and, you know, it's definitely going to pay off. They're extremely nice animals, and, you know, I think just the value that adds to each baby I sell. You know, I can say, hey, they're from his line, they're the best of the best. You can look at the color, it's brighter than all the rest, right? Same thing with crested geckos. If you're looking at Dalmatians specifically, you know, you want ones with more dots. If you buy from a breeder who's, you know, hey, I want a baby from that pair that has tons of dots, you'll get babies with tons of dots, most likely, right? So they'll produce babies with tons of dots, and you'll sell them for more. So if you sell a baby with 5 dots, what are you going to sell it for? 40, 50 bucks? If you have a baby with a ton of dots, you might be able to sell it for $100, $125. Now, let's say you went out and you bought 10 geckos from Pangea, and it was something like $350 shipped or whatever. And by the time you housed them all and you fed them all, you waited a year at this point. So you waited a year, raised them up, spent $350 on the original animals, and you probably spent like $200 on food at this point. And let alone all of your time that went into it. You've probably got like a couple $100s worth of your hours of your time and research. So you're probably, in theory, you're like $550 in cash. Make that $1,000 for your time, right? The space it takes up, okay? And you waited a year. So let's just say theoretically you're $1,000 in and you've waited a year. Now at this point you might be thinking, oh, you know, it's not worth it, all this and that. I see that a lot with snake breeders, just because the wait time is a lot longer. It's 3 years. One of the problems I see a lot is people will buy baby snakes, a lot of baby snakes, raise them up, which is expensive to feed, and they take 3 years to raise up, generally speaking, and they don't get any new projects along the way because they spent all their money. So what happens is they wait 3 years and they breed them for their first time, or they, right before they breed them, they sell them off, but then they have their babies. Well, it's the exact same pairing for the next 3 years until their babies are raised up, right? Or until whatever something new they bought raised up. Now, the way I see it, if you're gonna spend $1,000, like I said, if you're gonna spend over $1,000 on your first couple of animals, have your budget be $1,500. Go out, you bought 10 geckos from Pangea, maybe, you know, 6 months in, you go and you buy a pair of pinstripes from someone, right? And then you start raising those up on the side, because you always want to keep your investments flowing. You don't want to do one, wait a bunch of time, get the return, go do another one, wait a bunch of time. It's not about waiting, it's about planning out and being smart. There is waiting involved, but you can be smart about it. Now, you have your 10 geckos from Pangea, maybe it's 5 females, 5 males, you got really lucky, you know, those are perfect odds. It's just perfect, right? So you can, you know, sell 3 males. They're probably really nice because they're from Pangea, and you can sell adult males $100 each, right? So you're $300, awesome. It's been a year, you're out $1,000, but you just make $300 back, so it's cool. So you're starting to make money back, and you start pairing. Maybe, you know, the first 2 months you make a couple mistakes. You know, maybe one of your males doesn't breed, but 2 of your males are good, and they're each paired with like 1 or 2 females. Now, every month you're getting 4 to 6 eggs, right? So this point, let's say you're 4 months in, you're a year and 4 months in, you still are down $700. You spent $1,000, made $300 back from selling males, and now you start to have your first babies hatch. Now you're gonna house them, you're gonna feed them, and you're gonna keep an eye on them for the next couple months, because crested gecko babies grow really slow. Crested geckos realistically take 18 months to grow to full size. And you know, that's if you're feeding them crickets every once in a while and making sure they really eat. So you're a year and a half in, you're still out $700, and you're starting to sell babies. This is where you can really start to make your money back. But this is where I think a lot of people tend to miss the mark. You're selling babies, and like I said, you bought really nice crested geckos. Now you're selling your babies, you're putting them up for $60, you're making sure they sell cheap. So every month you're maybe making, you know, $120 anywhere to $240 back, right? So within 3 months of producing babies, you have all your money back. So you're, you know, what is that? 18, you're 21 months in, you're almost 2 years in, you finally broke even, right? Finally broke even, but now you're out of babies, right? So you can wait another month, you can have some more babies, you can sell them. Now the problem a lot of people make is they sell all their babies to recoup their initial investment. What I would do is, you're still down $700 and you have your first babies to sell. You can either sell them to this guy and make your money back and use it to go buy dinner or do whatever, or you can go over to, you know, your friend, your buddy, because you've been doing it for so long, who breeds really high quality Harlequins, and you go, hey, I have these really awesome Dalmatian babies, I'll trade you 2 for 2, right? So now you didn't make that money, you're still $700 in the hole, but now you have Harlequin babies, and you have your pinstripe babies from earlier. So all this stuff is raising up. Eventually you're gonna have really nice Harlequin babies and really nice pinstripe babies. And so each month you're gonna get $120 from the Dalmatians, you know, $200 from the Harlequin babies, and you know, another $200 from the pinstripe babies. Now, of course, this is all in theory. There's obviously, you know, my geckos aren't laying right now. It's in the off season. You know, there's always downtime. There's always all this other stuff that has to come into play. I'm sure you spend a lot of money on food, but if you just sell everything until you recoup your investment, you're not smart with it, you don't flow everything together just right, you will hit the bottom of the barrel. You'll get there, you'll make your money back. You'll be like, cool, now what? Were you going to sell the same geckos over and over and over and make a little bit of money each month? Or do you really want to, you know, if you're here, if you're making money, you might as well do it right? So this is where people need to focus, and they need to get everything in order. They really need to plan out a financial strategy and how they're going to, you know, if I start this project now, when's it going to be growing up? If I do this, is this the right plan, or is it too risky? If you wait a year on something that's risky, it's almost a waste of time. You know, if it doesn't fall through the way you want it to, it's a total waste of time. Do the smart, slow move. If you're already waiting, you might as well do it right. This is kind of sort of a rant, but I think you guys really get the idea of this. It's all about planning. A lot of people hop into the reptile hobby, especially ball pythons. I'm not, like, I know what it is, but I don't get the appeal. They hop in thinking they're going to make a lot of money, and right before they do make a lot of money, I've seen a lot of friends do this, have, you know, awesome, lots of nice animals. The year before they break even, the year, you know, 6 months before they start having babies, they go, oh, you know, we can't afford it, the rats are too expensive, this and that. It's all poor planning. A lot of people hop in wanting to make a quick buck, and they plan poorly and they hop right out. And that's a lot of times when you can get really good deals. Now, getting good deals is awesome, but of course, I don't like buying animals from people who've already tried breeding them. Now, of course, getting good deals is always awesome. Preferably, I buy my animals straight from a really reliable breeder. If this person's never bred before and they've kept that animal for 2 years, they don't really know that much about what they're doing, and I try not to buy from them. But anyway, I hope you guys really learned something from this video. I hope it helps you guys understand a lot, and I hope you guys, you know, take something from this, plan ahead, maybe make changes to your reptile decisions and how you're doing things, and I hope it helps you make money. Anyway, I'm James from Reptiles. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that definitely helps out. We're almost to 200 subscribers. We're almost to 500 Instagram followers, which is awesome. I'd love to hit both those goals by the new year. We'll see. But like I said, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, jamesreptiles@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you know, we'll catch you guys in the next video, and gecko on.